Owners of this coffee shop in New Jersey held this mother and her 3-year-old daughter in their store against their will until they agreed to pay $1,600 for a table that the 3-year-old girl accidentally broke.
The way this cafe treated this mom and her daughter was terrible, was extremely terrible. So she made a story time explaining what happened. She said she wanted to go get coffee, but she went to the restaurant with her daughter, her 3-year-old daughter, and a 75-year-old mom. And she just left the place to go and get the coffee because there's always crowd, and she just left them on the table. But that 3-year-old accidentally broke the table. You guys, the table is not even ideal in that kind of position to start with. They broke the table and they decided to keep her down there for more than 20 minutes to get all our information. They were not even bothered about if the child was okay or not. Let's watch the story time, then we'll come back and talk about it.
Hey guys, I'm looking for some advice and hopefully you can help me figure out how to deal with this situation. I took my 3-year-old daughter and 76-year-old mom for coffee and ice cream, and we're at the beach, so we went to this local place in Levelette called Hazel Boutique, and I had my mom and daughter sit at a table to wait for me while I was getting the coffee, just because the place was so packed. You know, I'm at the register paying for a coffee and I hear a loud bang, and I look, and my daughter, who was trying to push the table away from her, pushed it over, and the table, which I later learned was 600 pounds, broke into a bunch of pieces. It was a stone table. So, I'm freaking out. I first I want to get to her and make sure everything's okay. So I like push through the crowd. I check on her, see if she's all right, if she got hurt, if anybody else got hurt. I was so grateful there was nobody else on the other end of that table, because their leg could have been amputated. It was so heavy. It was just like a big piece of granite, I think. And my mom's so nervous and she's embarrassed, and I talked to the people there, and I said, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I don't know what to do. What could I do to make this right?" And my daughter's just she's not crying, she's not reaching for me, she's not calling mommy, she's just kind of frozen and scared and nervous, and everybody's reaction definitely didn't help. But the kicker was when I finally got on with the owner, because things went down a way that I could have never anticipated or expected. So there was a nice gentleman named Michael there who works there, I believe, as a barista, and he was the only one who was very kind and saw how extremely uncomfortable and embarrassing the situation was, and he was just like a point of contact that I kept looking over to, because he just kept saying, "It's okay, it's all right, it's okay, don't worry, are you okay?" or something along those lines. Everybody else kind of had mean girl vibes, and I understand they were upset. I completely get it. And I was ready to pay for the damages, and that wasn't the issue. When the owner got on the phone, I said, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. We're so embarrassed." Da, da, da. My daughter even kept saying, "I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." But she didn't say much more than that, and she's very, very chatty usually, So anyway, the owner said, "Well, the table is almost $2,000. It's $1,600. So you can't leave until I have your license and a credit card." And I said, "Okay, well, I have to leave because I have to make sure that she's okay. She's surrounded by 50 people now. She's 3, and I want to make sure my kid's all right. So let me go get her checked out, make sure she didn't get hurt. Bits and pieces of this table broke off into a million directions. Like, let me just catch my breath and make sure she's okay. I said, I gave you all my contact information. She required an email too. I gave her that. She got an email. She got my husband's information, our cell phone numbers, but I wasn't allowed to leave. And I don't know how that works, but I wasn't allowed to leave. I couldn't leave until I provided her a picture of my license, or a picture of my husband's driver's license, or my credit card for the $1,600 table. And I said, I have to call you back, and we can, figure it out. But I do have to take care of my kid. Anyway, it was like a big scene, big absolute, and all she kept repeating was, our policy is you break it, you pay for it. You break it, you bought it. And I was so surprised, because not one time on the phone did she ask if Allie was okay, or if anybody else got hurt. She didn't once say, hey, is your daughter all right? Is she shaken up? I was completely humiliated and embarrassed, and I've cried since. I took my daughter to urgent care because she was in like a weird state about her, She was just like, so, I mean, it was loud. Can you imagine like a solid stone table dropping to the ground? And all the owner kept repeating was, we have everything on video. I stuck around for 20 minutes to give you my contact information so that you can contact me, so that I can make it right by you guys and your business. So for you to keep repeating that everything's on video, I'm not disputing the fact that my kid pushed your table. That's what happened. And I'm glad no one was hurt. But I don't know how to deal with this now, like so anyway, I took my daughter to urgent care, and the PA there, she was so sweet. She explained that, she was probably in just like a state of shock. So yeah, that was what happened. We're at the Jersey Shore in Lavallette, and I would love any feedback that you guys can offer. If anything similar has happened to you, how you went about it. It's like this Mean Girls thing something that we're doing now, because it was disgusting. Like, my mom's got tears in her eyes, and she's crying because she's older, so everything gets her nervous. And these days, I'm like trying to keep it together, and like having the absolute worst pushback. And am I crazy? Okay, please help.
If what you're fighting for is for the customer to pay for the broken table, okay. But at least make sure that they are okay. The fact that she's even saying that I need to go make sure that my daughter is good, I need to go make sure that she doesn't have any injury, because the table is made of stone. So anything could have happened. She's 3 year old, and she might not. In fact, the fact that everybody's looking, everybody's paying attention, she's going to be scared, and she's also feeling bad. A child that is feeling bad and is scared is always quiet and just want to, before that she's even feeling bad, she just wants to be on her own, and see someone to just tell her everything is fine and all of that. But you guys are still telling them to stay just because they need to give information, yada yada yada. You're not even bothered if the child is fine. You're not even like, okay, let's check if your child is okay, is the mom okay as well? Nothing. All you're interested in, you have to pay for the damages. It's giving, we want to change this table one day, and now you guys are going to change it for us. Like, they already know that this table is going to spoil already, so they already have somebody that is making them change it to pay for the table and all of that. Anyway, you guys, what's your take? I have a reaction on this video. Let's watch this reaction together, then we'll come back and talk about this.
Owners of this coffee shop in New Jersey held this mother and her 3-year-old daughter in their store against their will until they agreed to pay $1,600 for a table that the 3-year-old girl accidentally broke. So it's going to be very subtle, but look at how easy this table moves right here. Did you see that? Well, that right there is the same table from Hazelnut Cafe and Boutique in New Jersey. Now, that's also not a real table. That is meant to be underneath a picture or a mirror in your house. People are not meant to be using that as an actual table to sit and eat at. Well, this mother, just a few days ago, was at this coffee shop, and her 3-year-old daughter was able to knock that 600-pound table over by accident while she was trying to move the table so she could sit behind it. And this is what the table looked like after. As you can see, this end right here ended up breaking off, and this leg looks kind of bent right here. So the mother goes on to say about how she was apologizing and saying how sorry she was that her daughter accidentally pushed the table over, and that's when one of the owners apparently got on the phone and said she was not allowed to leave the boutique until she gave a picture of her license, her email, her phone number, and a credit card so they could charge her for that $1,600 table. Now, trying to charge a mother whose daughter accidentally knocked over a table, which shouldn't have even been used as a table, is pretty crazy, especially when you post videos like this on your social media, bragging about how much money you're making by showing how many people you had in your restaurant. I mean, that's all over their TikTok page. They just gloat about how many people are waiting in line 2 hours for their coffee, yet they're going to hold a mother, a 76-year-old grandmother, and a 3-year-old little girl hostage for this table that they shouldn't have even had there in the first place. Hazelnut Coffee has started to go and delete a bunch of videos, private all their comments. A lot of people that they follow have taken their comments down and privated their accounts, and even the owners over on IG and TikTok are not allowing anybody to comment on their posts. And it's like this right here. This person, random person, says that you can delete these whenever you want, but a lot of us will always have this video and hold you accountable for the way you treated this mother and her little girl.
You have been following the Hazel Boutique / Cafe situation unfold. They have finally given their apology. Let's read through it. So it says, first and foremost, we are extremely grateful that the 3-year-old girl, her grandmother, mother, and every customer who was present are safe and unharmed. We understand this incident may have been startling when the table fell with a loud noise, and our priority has been to ensure the family felt supported and cared for. Clear surveillance footage confirms that the young girl accidentally kicked the table, causing it to tip over. Thankfully, it did not strike anyone, and the child showed no signs of distress, walking away calmly from the scene. Do you know that child personally? Because the thing is, she could have walked away quietly and calmly because she was truly scared. So to say and put words in the child and the mother's mouth saying she walked away showing no signs of distress is crazy. It says, following the incident, we personally called the child's mother to express our concerns, offer our support, and share our direct contact information should she need anything. As an added precaution, we have since removed all tables from our location to eliminate any risk of a similar incident. You know what they should have said right there? Thank you so much to this mother and child for this horrific situation that happened, but it brought awareness to us so that we recognize now how dangerous these 600-pound tables that are actually not tables at all. Thank you for bringing it to our attention, because we would never want this to happen to someone else, and we are insanely apologetic that it happened to you. It goes on to say, we want to be completely transparent. We would never hold anyone against their will. The mother was not charged for the damaged table, even after asking how she could make it right given the table broke. We requested her contact information for insurance purposes. Now, this is interesting because how did the mother know how much the table was? How did the mother leave in such distress? How did the mother leave feeling the way she did if you guys didn't make her feel that way? That to me says you're saying she's a liar. You're saying that you guys didn't do X, Y, and Z. I think what happened here is that the mother was insistent on checking on her child and wasn't going to allow you guys to bully her into paying for that table and come to her own conclusion if she should or should not pay for the damages that were done. Again, this cafe put 3 harmful, dangerous tables in their establishment. And so honestly, from the very beginning, it should have been handled with the insurance in mind. It should have never gotten to a point where you felt like you had to personally call her while she was in the restaurant, etc. It goes on to say, at Hazel Boutique, safety and hospitality are the foundation of everything we do. While this was an unfortunate and rare occurrence, our commitment to creating a safe, welcoming environment to every guest has never been stronger. That's so crazy because so many people have come forward saying that they also felt like this was a Mean Girls type feeling and establishment. So what would you have to say about those people who are giving reviews? We are incredibly thankful for our loyal customers and the community we serve, and we will continue to do everything possible to ensure their safety and well-being. And in my opinion, the only reason that you're worried about safety and their well-being is because of this unfortunate incident that you've yet to apologize to this family directly and almost in a way thank them for their patient's understanding so that you could make it a safer environment. It is literally a safer environment because of the incident that occurred. But instead it comes off like they are blaming the mother and child still. Anyway, I want to hear your thoughts. What do you think about their apology statement?
Did you hear about that 3-year-old that accidentally broke a $1,600 coffee table at the Hazelnut Boutique in New Jersey, and those 2 women who owned the coffee shop ended up shaming the mom for 20 minutes and refused to let her get to her daughter, who, mind you, is surrounded by 50 people that are staring at the situation? They demanded that she gives contact information and a credit card info for the damages. Mind you, she did that. And they made her stand there for 20 minutes while they made her feel bad as a mom. And those are scammers, okay? My parents owned a small business for over a decade. If anything breaks in your business, that's why you have insurance and they take care of it, even if it is the Patreon's fault, okay? And then there's also a video on the Hazelnut Boutique page that they just took down that shows how wobbly that coffee table is. And it was meant for decor purposes, not functional dining. But they took that down because it shows how much they were in the wrong, okay? Bro, I think you lost a lot more than just a coffee table by you acting like this. Honestly, be so for real.
This whole like Hazelnut Cafe in New Jersey situation where the toddler like knocked over a table and like the owner held the mother hostage until she gave her information to like pay for the said table. There are so few scenarios in which holding a person hostage in your place of business is the appropriate thing to do, no matter what they do, no matter what they break, no matter what they steal. I mean, perhaps if she had the Mona Lisa up on the wall and someone just ripped it down and started running away. But girl, you have insurance. And like your little apology statement said, there were cameras. You can see what happened. And the kicker, these like 1600 Anthropologie tables they were using for their cafe, they're actually sideboards. And you're not meant to like sanitize them and clean them thoroughly. They're meant to just like be wiped down with water. You know what? In their statement, they said, oh yeah, we saw in the video that a little toddler knocked the table over. So if there's video of the child knocking the table over, there's also video of how you responded in that moment. So let's roll the tape, bitch. I'd like to see the tape.
As a cafe owner, this whole Hazelnut Boutique and cafe table situation is absolutely insane. Long story short, I guess there's like a viral cafe somewhere where a mother and daughter were sitting at a table and the daughter broke a piece of that table, and the owner wouldn't let the mother and daughter leave until they paid $1,600 and left a credit card on file to pay for the table and whatnot, which is just so insane. I just couldn't imagine what type of headspace you have to be in as a cafe owner to have the audacity of doing that. Because my first thought goes to, oh shit, what if a piece of that like massive stone table landed on that 3-year-old? Like, they could have been seriously injured. And also, it's not even like a proper table, it's a console table, so it's like very skinny and top heavy, so it's not really meant for people to be dining and sitting and leaning into. And when you're picking out furniture for a cafe, You just have to go into it knowing that it's going to get used and abused and eventually destroyed. Of course, safety is like the number one consideration. Yeah, this whole situation is absolutely insane. The owner should be like offering complimentary gift cards and just apologizing profusely for what happened, not trapping customers in your store. Like, I can't believe this is like a real story, but here we are.
The apology video was for what? They made up that apology video because that particular video went viral and they saw that a lot of people were coming for them. See, I hate when you know what you did was wrong. And because somebody posted the video online and it went viral and a lot of people are coming for you and you're coming to start making apology. And the apology itself is not apologizing, if that makes sense. You are not even saying the right thing. You're even apologizing in a wrong way, right? The person that you're supposed to apologize to, you're not apologizing to the person, and you're even lying, right? So if the video did not go viral and people are not trying to pinch, and people are not like seeing or coming for you people, there will not be an apology video. There's not going to be any apology video. This mom was not even arguing that she's not going to pay. She's not even saying that her daughter did not damage it. She's not even saying that, why will I pay for it? Is it made that say if people should bring this type of table to this place? She's not even arguing or trying to fight the fact that they damaged it. She's not arguing. Her own is, can you just give us space? Like, we need to leave this place because my daughter is not feeling good and I know her. Like, she's someone that is always talking and playing. For the child to even, now somebody that is very active, right? So for us to just keep quiet and she's already feeling bad. And as a mom, you already know your child and you know how they feel and all of that. You should even show concern. The business people, they're supposed to show concern and be like, okay, is your child okay? Can you go check? At least, it's the mom, it's a oh, nothing happened before you now start talking about money and talking about, okay, this, and they're not even arguing that they're not going to pay for it. That's just the thing. They're not saying they're not going to pay for it. The fact that the way you treated it and make it look as if they actually broke the table intentionally was wrong. There's some children that you take to a place that they'll just be everywhere, want to destroy everywhere, and you keep warning them and cautioning them and all of that. If they destroy something, you can just behave like that, maybe, because you know that if you keep warning the parent, oh, your child is this, your child is that, put your child on the table, that is different. This one was not like that. It's just accidental. It can happen to anybody. In fact, it can happen to anybody on the table. It might not even be a child, it might even be adult or something, because the table does not even look strong to start with, right? So why is it as if they did something wrong and they started making them feel bad? It's really, really, I really felt for them, really. So now they are saying that they want to change the table, they want to make the environment safe for people and all of that. Hypocrites. So the whole thing you did for the mom, if the mom did not come and say story time and kind of show, and video did not go viral, this thing will just be swept under the carpet. Nobody's going to know anything, and everybody's still going to be seeing your cafe online and think that you guys are doing an amazing job. Yes, what's your take on this video? Let's continue this conversation down in the comment section respectfully, as always. It's your girl Mara Davis, and thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this one. Please like and share and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one, guys. Bye.